Welcome to the GFY Podcast, a podcast by healthcare professionals providing insight on how to navigate your health so that you can go fix yourself. The GFY Podcast is hosted by Mike Bruno, a chiropractor and athletic trainer, and me, Michael Stant, an athletic trainer and certified strength conditioning specialist. Although we are healthcare providers, we are not your healthcare provider. We will discuss general health interventions in this podcast, but you should not take that as health advice that works in every situation. Before doing anything on your own or making any lifestyle changes, please consult with your own physician. This podcast and views from this podcast are separate from our full-time jobs and our own opinions. If you're enjoying the GFY Podcast, please leave us a review on your listening platform and or subscribe to our podcast at YouTube. Links to our show can be found in the show notes on any platform that you're listening to. Today, we're going to talk about recovery, especially, New Year's resolutions. People are going to go redline it at the gym for a month and then probably go, hopefully not fail, but just stop. It's like I'm going to crush my body every day of the week for 30 days and I'll get up at 5 a.m. I'll get 5 hours of sleep. I'm going to stop, no carbs. I'm going to do whatever it takes just to get the body that I want.
I think January 9th is National Quitters Day.
Damn, they have 9 days?
I think so. I know we're wrong on that, but
I know we were in a nation of quitters.
What do you mean you didn't know? So this I did the anti-resolution this year. I slept until noon.
Damn, good for you. Talk about recovery. I actually posted on my personal account yesterday. I did the long run and then I actually slept. I stayed in bed for 9.5 hours. And in order to do that with a child at home, that meant going to bed at 7:30 and then just staying in bed. Obviously, I was in bed 9.5. I was awake for an hour of it, but 8.5 hours. And it was awesome because I wear my Garmin watch to bed. It gives me a bunch of statistics. And it was like, oh, you're completely recharged now. All those 6.5 hours sleeps that you got all to 5 hours wiped away. You got your good sleep.
Yeah. I did this sleep quiz recently that tells you what parts of your day are most productive and what parts of your day you're gonna not burn out, but what?
Oh, what? Yeah, hold on. I have the app for a little.
We are not sponsored here, Mikey. I'm not saying.
Oh, you can't.
They're keeping them free publicity.
Oh, okay.
But it sends me alerts on my phone, and it says, "Hey, whatever you need to get done today between this hour and this hour, you should go do it now."
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
No, I had the same app because I think it would tell me my day was all screwed up because I get up at 4 a.m. So it was telling me your most productive part of your day was 9 to noon or something like that. And then it would be at 9 a.m. stop drinking caffeine, which is I actually do for the most part. So it actually wasn't a big deal for me, but it was cool to see it because it did make you think of right now I'm working on a presentation. All right, I should actually do the bulk of that work during the late morning.
It can be helpful in a lot of those ways. Where I find it to be super not helpful is it makes the excuse that much easier. So I had a Whoop for a while. Oops, I said it.
Oh no. I mean, I said Garmin.
Yeah, not sponsored, but I hated it because if I got bad sleep or I had a couple of drinks the night before, the next morning I would wake up and see if I didn't have any data, I'd be like, okay, let's go work out. It might not be the best one ever, but get something done. When I see it, it's oh, your battery's 20, your body battery's 20%. I'm like, that's not healthy. I shouldn't be working out with a 20%.
Which is,
I'm going to skip it today.
Yeah. And maybe that's what we talk about is, all right, if you're not appropriately recovered or if you're not feeling great that day, you can still do something. They'll just do nothing. I even talk about hey, if you're really feeling crappy, just do a stretch yoga mobility session.
Just go walk.
Yeah, go walk.
I'm gonna keep bringing it up until people
please
scream things shut up, dude.
Please walk.
Yeah.
I think there was recent research that said you start getting benefits from walking at 4,000 steps a day.
It's crazy. It's crazy, especially the work from home.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. In theory, me not being that person. If you're working from home, it sounds so easy to go out and get steps. But there could be times where these people don't even get outside.
Yeah. And even for
100 steps a day.
And you could have someone that's oh, I do my CrossFit workout at 5 a.m. and then I go home and I work from home for 12 hours. And if you don't ever get back outside, that's also not great for you.
100%. I actually have that conversation a lot, especially with rehab,
Mm-hmm.
talking about it more as a software problem than a hardware problem, meaning, hey, nothing's torn or broken or physically like destroyed. So it's a software problem. So all the pain and symptoms you're having are reprogramming the brain. The best way to reprogram the brain is pattern recognition, which takes reps. And it's much better to sprinkle that throughout the day. So if you're going to do 3 sets of 10, doing AM, afternoon, PM is going to be better than trying to get all 3 sessions in at one time.
Yeah, it just gives you an opportunity to keep moving throughout the day. Even when it comes to like tendon.
And you learn faster that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's practice and repetitions. So like I talk about like tendon injuries. A lot where the research is on like rehabbing from tendon pain is it's actually it's like you resting for tendon pain will not make a difference because tendons don't respond to rest. They actually respond to load.
Oh,
They like that's what a lot of people miss. So when you're told, all right, yeah, you got a patella tendonitis. Should be called tendinopathy. Usually it's not inflamed. I digress.
I thought it was a ligament this whole time. You don't remember that argument?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So this is the nerdiest argument of all time: patellar ligament or patellar tendon. There really is no argument, but I just choose the opposite side just to ruffle feathers. Our professor said it in freshman year, sophomore year, and I bring it up as often as I can. So if anyone's curious, I know our listeners here are going to want to look into this. So go ahead and look.
Yeah, it's a patella.
Is it
It's a patella thing, a tendon or a ligament.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you have that pain and someone just tells you, like just take her off for 2 weeks, it might help a little bit, but like you didn't actually load it, so it's not going to change how it needs to change. And then kind of going off of that, that's kind of where you probably have to look at form because a lot of times it's more of a what's going on in your hips, what are you doing functionally? Because right, that tendon is a little bit more up and down. So if you start kind of shifting each way and you start providing a shear force to it when you're running and lifting and jumping, that's just it's not going to function as well. So that's like where it's so easy to be like, and I've talked about before with some of my own injuries. Sometimes injuries, I'll say pain. I don't think I've had an injury.
Mikey's never been injured a day in his life.
Not once, except for the one time I fell off my deck. Let's not talk about that.
But so funny you brought that up.
Yeah. But
ask me the story. I will.
No. We'll move on. But right, you got to load the tendon. Like right, you don't take the rest. The recovery is loading.
100%.
Yeah.
When I think about, I always say muscles are dumb, joints are smart. So we have to have good position so the muscle does what we want it to do. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is, okay, in the good position, can we load without symptoms? And sometimes if you can't, that's where manual therapy comes into play because that pressure can simulate that in a way to get you to bridge that gap and get you there. But there's a lot of ways if you work with someone who uses pressure as a tool, it can be highly effective.
Oh yeah.
As a really easy example is like a weightlifting belt. So hey, my back hurts without it, back feels great with it. That's a pressure response.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like in healthcare, it's like you find a lot of people that are so anti-manual therapy, and then you have other people that are so anti-exercise that they're like all manual therapy. And it's like it's as everything is in the world. It's a combination of the two. And I think what people get lost with the manual therapy aspect, they'll be like, "There's no research on it," blah 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 blah. Like we don't know those techniques work, and it's like. Well, yeah, because try researching manual therapy, like try doing a research project on a specific manual therapy thing that is done consistently person to person. It's just not going to exist.
In chiropractic, they just like press on dead pig spines.
Yeah.
I was not research.
Yeah.
I digress. But I had a good point and what were we just talking about?
Well, the topic's recovery.
Oh, wait a second. Cool. No, I used to be that guy where I don't need to touch you, exercise. is you can.
And I think we all go through that where, especially us coming from the UD athletic train where we learned a bunch of manual therapy and then like we swung back the opposite way. And some of it could have been like, wow, this manual therapy is a lot of hard work. And did I actually like make a change? So then you just go complete the opposite. And then you're like, maybe I'll try, maybe I'll do cupping on you real quick. See if that helps. Like, I know that's not technically manual, but let's give it a shot. And they're like, I'm the best I've ever felt. And then you're like, oh, in that right time, right person, right moment, that worked. That intervention worked.
Yeah, manual therapy is a tool just like anything else. So using it in the right way is helpful. It's not, hey, this hurts, so I'm just going to push on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. Gets temporary symptom relief. Now it's the question is, okay, now we have symptom relief. How are we going to keep it?
Yeah, then
that's where the exercise.
Yeah, and it's educating them on that part. Like it's knowing that that will not fix you, but it'll help us bridge the gap to get you there.
It's a window of opportunity, just opens the door, which is very helpful.
Windows don't open doors.
Yeah. Two different analogies got blurred. You cannot open a door with a window. That's fair.
Or can you?
Are there more doors or wheels in the world?
Oh God, dude, that was so 5 years ago.
I had a very heated debate on my last soccer trip with all the guys.
Did you?
Yeah. One of them, all of his siblings went to Harvard, and he's just a genius. He was keeping up mathematical formulas, and he was rocking. And he ended up picking the same one that I did.
Is he an athletic trainer or a sports scientist on that trip?
He's an athlete. He's a
He's a
player. Yeah.
Damn. Good for him. That's almost not fair.
Anywho's your recovery.
Recovery. So I'm gonna go through like some quick things, and even it's like I feel like most people just invest in a wearable, whether it's Garmin, Whoop, or Ring. I mean, Fitbit is like the OG one, and they got all the data. Like there's so many different companies that have these wearables that are going to track heart rate and give you some recovery numbers. That like get one, start tracking it, go to sleep with it. They're going to get you a lot of good info. So the one that like go ahead.
Real quick before I forget, what gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed.
Yep.
So if you don't know these metrics, there's no way to control them. And like if you have a graph phone, then you can put variables to make them better.
Yeah, and like right, they all essentially will track your sleep, and they'll let you know how much deep sleep, REM, or light sleep, awake time you get, and it's like you could think you're getting good sleep. Oh, I go to bed 9 p.m. and wake up at 5 a.m. But then you go break it down, and it's like, oh yeah, you did go to bed, but then you're up several times. You're actually not getting deep sleep, and so like that's some of the stuff they have to take into consideration. And then so like a lot of them too will give you your heart rate variability, which is kind of an important measurement to show if you're actually recovering from workout to workout or day to day.
Yeah. How would you explain HRV in like a sentence to someone who has no idea?
It is, I mean, it's the variation in heartbeats from one to the next. So, right, maybe common sense, you would think that it means, okay, so your heartbeats should be kind of always happening synchronously. So if, right, 100 heartbeats per minute, or it'll say 60 heartbeats per minute, and that means you have one heartbeat every second. But that's not technically how it works. It could be one a second, 1.5 a second, one a little bit longer. It's in milliseconds, so the variation is going to be way different.
Some are shorter, some are longer, right? Okay.
Yeah, so you actually want that to occur. You want the variations to be a little bit different because that kind of shows how ready your heart is to respond to anything.
So if heart's all over the place, it's a good thing.
It's actually a good thing because, right, we're not talking about, you got to remember, these are measurements over a long period of time. Heart rate variability actually set it up like you got to have like weeks of data to actually know what it is. Because, right, if you say your heart rate should be all over the place, well, in an EKG, when they really look at, the wave patterns and whatnot, you don't want that to be all over the place. They do need to hit certain things, but you need a heart rate that within a certain milliseconds, usually between 40 and 60 is like what most people's norms are. You want it to kind of be floating in that area. That will tell you that you'll be pretty good. Now, everyone has their own baseline. That's something else to think about it. So like you could have someone that baseline, they're always at 70, and that's okay.
Hmm. So exercise will make that number, the HRV number, go up, and that's a good thing.
Go up or down depending on how much stress you've had leading into it. So generally,
HRV good is what I'm trying to get across.
HRV is good because it shows you how recovered you are. Typically, as that number goes up, that means, okay, you're in a good spot. However, if it goes way too far down from your own baseline, let's say 10 milliseconds, that's when it goes, hey, you might not actually be recovered enough. How is your sleep? What's your nutrition like? Did you have alcohol the day before? Did you crack yourself up on caffeine the day before? Because caffeine can affect that number as well.
Mm. That tells me my dog is very healthy because I use her as a pillow a lot, and her heartbeats are like boom, 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 boom.
I don't know. I don't know about dogs' hearts, but I'll
I'm
speak
running with
human
it.
hearts. Um, but yeah, so I think it's an important number that all these wearables have that like you can look at it, address it, and kind of what you said, you got to start measuring this stuff to know if it actually plays a case in your recovery. And like, right, sleep, nutrition, um, how much you drink water, how much water you have a day. Like,
Yeah. The first step to solving any problem is being aware that you have a problem. So that's all that those things do. It's being aware of, hey, my sleep might be, I think my sleep's good, but according to the actual data, it's not as good as I thought.
yeah,
So,
it's actually interesting with me looking at mine now. It's I've this watch is new. I've had it for 2 weeks, so it's like still work. Like it takes like 3 weeks to a month for it to create baseline data. But right with the newborn at home, I'm sleeping it's like 5 to 6.5 hours typically. And but what's interesting is I crush deep sleep, and that's like and so like I'm at least I'm so pumped about it because that is where a lot of recovery happens. So yeah, my quantity isn't quite where I want it to be,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't tell you that I feel like drained every day or anything like that. I think it's okay. Like I personally for 6 out can function off 6 hours of sleep.
Is it bulky as crap wearing it every day
No,
to sleep with it?
I have no issues, and actually like I set my alarm on it so that like it doesn't wake up Courtney. So
Oh, it like buzzes on you or something?
yeah, it just buzzes my wrist.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, doesn't bother people. No, I don't think it's funny because I've been wearing a watch to sleep for a little bit, and probably initially it was like this feels weird. I don't know. I like it, and then you get over it.
And then you get used to it. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
how I felt about my wedding ring.
yeah. Wedding rings are heavy. That's what I felt. I was like, man, this kind of like gets heavy as the day goes on. Like sometimes if you wear it all day, you're like, oh, I gotta take this thing off.
The other rubber, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, mine doesn't come off that easily.
Do you have a rubber one or no?
Yeah, I'll usually wear that at work just because it's weird to like do any type of manual therapy or like evals with the tungsten. Is that what the other one? I think mine's tungsten.
Tungsten. You can't go in an X-ray machine with that bad boy.
No. What happens if I do? Do you know?
Well, like
Would it just suck me in?
the back no, the background that they shoot you against is made of tungsten.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Or the X-ray, the inside of the X-ray machine is made of tungsten.
No.
Something like that. You'll
Yeah.
blow up is essentially what I'm telling.
Oh boy. All right. What are recovery tips, tricks do we have? I mean, I've written out a couple other ones that like we hit the basic stuff, but also, hydration, like quick tip, you should have 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight. And then for every 15 minutes of exercise, essentially, there's the equation for it, but essentially comes out to like have 6 to 8 ounces for every 15 minutes of exercise.
Of water?
Yeah, of water.
Okay. I like that. The I've heard try to drink your fluid ounces in like per pound of body weight, right?
Yep. Yeah.
That and I've also heard that in protein too. I've heard it with kilos that I
Yeah.
ask per pounds.
It's supposed to be your pounds. Yeah, the pounds and body weight is 1 gram protein. Yeah, yeah, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I'll be perfectly honest, that is very hard to do.
Right.
Like,
So
you have
that's
to
like kilograms would be like roughly half, a little more than half if you do the math. So it's like if you're 180, you can do 90 to 100. It feels
probably be
Yeah.
fine. The recommended dietary allowance which is like the number that like the base number everyone should get is supposed to be like 0.7, which kind of lines up what you're saying, 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like I would say depending on your body weight, like for me, I'm pretty happy if I get 100 to 120 grams of protein in and I weigh about 160 to 165.
I was having this conversation with the client yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, do I really have to like track my protein and stuff?" And I said, "It depends on how granular you want to get, but you can do very rough math where the size of like a balled up fist, your personal fist, is like a serving of protein. So if you're looking at chicken on a big platter, it's like, oh, two of those is like a serving for me. I need six of those in a day. As an example, that rough math can get you, again, be aware of how much protein you're eating. Like that's step one.
Mm-hmm.
If that gets you to your goal, great. If it doesn't, then getting more granular becomes more important.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And obviously with a lot of this stuff, you gotta give it a couple weeks to see like what changes are occurring as a result of it.
Oh yeah, that's back to New Year's
Yeah.
resolution. When people go to the gym for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and don't get results yet, and get pissed and quit. It's what would you say to get actual results from a workout program? Like what it 10 weeks more? What would you say?
So research tells you hypertrophy to occur
Right.
takes science tells you at least 4 to 6 weeks. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, if that's 4 to 6 weeks for hypertrophy to probably truly see like body weight change and muscle like architecture change, yeah, it's gonna be a couple months.
Yeah, mirror scale. So I would I mean, this can go back to rehab too, knowing that it is now going to be a light switch and be immediately different the next day.
Hmm.
That's the whole reason we have a process, a plan, a program, whatever you want to call it, is because we know that the process looks like this,
Yeah,
right? Good days and bad days. It doesn't go like a rocket,
yeah.
you know?
It
Um,
even quick note on the rehab stuff too. Like going back to research, we kind of already talked about like it takes time to make motor pattern changes. And so let's say we talk about we talk a lot about like low back pain and chronic pain stuff. If
mm,
you sprain your ankle, those changes are going to start happening because while you sprain your ankle, you're not going to walk on it for a little bit. You're going to change how you walk. You're going to change how you do stuff. You're going to change how you play your sport. You're going
mm,
to change how you run. And so that's why even off an ankle sprain, you should continue rehabbing it. I want to say because central nervous system changes can occur for up to 3 to 6 months following an acute injury. Guess
yeah.
what? That's how long you're actually supposed to keep working on it for. The problem is that a lot of people start feeling better after about 2 weeks and they go, I'm good. I'm just going to tape it now. We'll move on.
Yeah. So a lot of people get hurt from like that too little for too long into too much too soon.
Yeah.
And then they don't get better because they don't stay on the path of recovery for as long as they need to.
Yeah.
It's like getting uh strep throat and you have 10 days of antibiotics and you cut it at day 3.
Yeah.
Some people do it.
And now you set yourself up for a crazier bacterial infection because you didn't finish your treatment.
Exactly. So your risk of getting re-injured, the most what's the stat? The most common predictor
Yeah.
of back pain in the future is prior back pain.
And that's essentially across the board for any injury. Like,
Mm,
and it doesn't even have to be as injury specific to low back pain.
mm.
Like, it could be that any future predictor of an injury anywhere is the previous history of an injury anywhere.
Yeah, and a lot of that like, a lot of people will hear that and be like, "Oh, it's like damaged tissue." It's really more from like the software, the
Yeah,
programming
it's
aspect.
software and programming issue.
Yeah, where your body has adjusted and made changes, compensated, cheated, and figured out different ways to move. When it gets used to those patterns aren't helping you do the things that you want to do, and they set you up for injury down the road because you're all discombobulated.
Yeah, yeah. So big piece of recovery from a long term aspect. It's also takes a long time. I think that's the issue.
Erase all of your history. Never get hurt.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think the issue is everyone got this unrealistic idea that like, oh, science and medicine are only getting better, therefore, like we're gonna be able to recover from injuries sooner. And do this and that. It's like, no, we've just gotten smarter. And like, really the goal should be, how can we reduce the risk of re-injury at this point?
Reduce the risk. Yeah, I never say prevention. I always say risk reduction.
Yeah.
Because it's
a fool's game to think you could prevent every injury. That's it. There's too many things that go into injury and pain for you to prevent it all.
100%. You can always get hit by the proverbial bus. There's no guaranteeing you're going to prevent injury, but there's stuff that you can do every day that is going to reduce the risk of pain and injury in the future. And that is when it's, hey, I want to teach you the things that you need to do so that when you are graduated from here, you can go on and do that for the next 10, 20 years and still be making progress, versus the person who's like, oh, I want to come in and you do your magic on me and then I leave.
Yeah.
That person's not going to learn nearly as much, and they're going to be at a much higher risk for ending up right back on that table 6 months, a year later.
Yeah. So I think I don't think of anything else here. Yep, Mike dropped that.
All right. Go fix yourself.